Duress. Oh, that's a good hit, actually. Get rid of the casualties of war. Are you freaking serious right now? That's ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to try something new today. It's an Urza Lord Protector deck, new, straight out of Brothers War, and we're going to go through the deck tech a bit differently and the video actually. So I'm going to name some of the cool cards I put in from the new set, and then we're going to basically play some games, and as I go along I might edit the deck as we go along, but if I do I'll show you what I put into the deck and what I take out, so it's going to be kind of like a learning experience for all of us. And yeah, let's see how good this guy can be. So he makes artifacts, instants, and sorceries cost 1 less, so that's already ridiculously powerful. The deck is going to be focused more on artifacts, however. And then for 7, if you both own and control Urza and an artifact named the Mightstone or Weakstone, exile them, then meld them into Urza Planeswalker. And you can see he's got 5 abilities, and he can use 2 of them each turn, which is just bonkers. I don't need to read them out, you can see them right there, but it's very, very powerful. Obviously you want to use them with the Mightstone, which in itself is already ridiculous. When it comes in, choose 1, draw 2, or target creature gets -5/-5, so it's advantage or a removal spell. Let's have a look at some of the other new cards. So some of the other new cards I put into the deck that I couldn't resist are Portal to Phyrexia. When it enters, each opponent sacks 3 creatures. This is obviously fantastic against creature builds. If the opponent isn't using creatures, then you might be in a bit of trouble for 9 mana, but it also has on your upkeep, put a creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield on your control, and it's Phyrexian, so if during the course of the game you've been killing loads and loads of your opponent's things, you'll be able to return them to the battlefield, and it's just bonkers, absolutely bonkers. We have Platoon Dispenser, which I want to try out. You can use it to create soldiers, but it also draws you cards if you have 2 soldiers, and you can unearth it. It does so many things, and it's a 4/6, which is incredible. 6 toughness as well. It's going to be tough for your opponent to break through that wall. We've got Myral, who's brand new, which is a really good force field, because as your turn begins, your opponent can't do anything. So if you want to activate Urza's ability for 7, you should be uninterrupted, and Myral will actually protect you. So if you activate Urza, and then your opponent kills in response, normally it's really sad. But with Myral, it's going to hopefully prevent that. And yeah, there's a few other cards littered throughout. So what I would recommend is don't look at this deck list one for one. Look at the deck list, which will be probably associated with the final games from this series. And as I said, if we lose, we'll take something out and see what went wrong. I can already see a few things that I'd like to change already, but let's give it a go. Yeah, it's a new type of video. Let's get into the gameplay. Okay, so hopefully this game goes well. I've tried to record like 3 times now, and in the middle of the game it just keeps saying something like server connection issue. But yeah, fingers crossed this game can go through to the end. It's a real shame actually, I lost some great footage against a Corval player. Alas, you won't be seeing that. Yeah, let's go for the Arden Veil because I want my turn 3 mana untapped. So Muldrotha, pretty powerful deck. I say pretty powerful, very powerful. Stitch of Supply, they're going to mill 3. Okay. So let's go for the Midnight Clock here, prepare our future turns. I mean, let's face it, they're probably going to have removal. They're in Sultai, which is, you know, one of the stronger colour trios. Bastion, that's an interesting build. Steel Seraph. I put this in because I just freaking love the artwork. Very cool card. I've got 4 mana, so I can go for Urza plus Weatherlight. So it even makes spells cheaper, which is pretty insane. So the Revoke Existence for 1 white suddenly seems pretty wild. Any Mana Rock for 2 is pretty awesome as well. Obviously, if they kill... Oh, okay, they kill the Witherbloom command. Sorry, the Weatherlight completed. Fair enough. Oof, and a Liberator as well. So they can kill anything with that. Well, artifacts, enchantments anyway. That's a real shame. That is a real shame. So I guess the Tameshi is going to be useful to return stuff. Playing that for 2 seems decent as well. So flying, vigilance, lifelink. We'll give as a flying and we'll go over the top. Okay, pretty cool so far. I really love these prototype cards. As a huge mecha fan, I don't know how many of you know that. Absolutely adore mecha, Evangelion, Gundams. This artwork is, I think this is my favourite artwork from the set. And I really want a foil one. Okay, so now whenever he attacks, he can destroy something. It's pretty potent. Oh, okay, let's get rid of the revoke. Now we've got the tome. Last casket. What's the CMC of that? 2. Okay, let's see what they do, because this is going to force their hand. So in response, they can kill any one of our things. They choose the clock. Okay. Fine. I should have tapped that for mana, but oh well. Okay, we go for the tome. So in the next turn, they've got 6 mana for the Muldrotha. Duress. Oh, that's a good hit, actually. Get rid of the casualties of war. Are you freaking serious right now? That's ridiculous. What the hell? Yeah, that's ridiculous. So I told you, they always have casualties of war. Now, if they don't get a 6th land, we're going to do really well. Oh, thank goodness for that duress. It may have saved us. Oh, fantastic. Okay, that feels good. So far, I'm not sure if I want to remove anything. I'll quickly look at the edit screener just to see what my thoughts were on that game. Okay, so after that ridiculously crazy game 1 finish with the duress, which, by the way, I don't know why Golgari players always have casualties. It's absolutely ridiculous. Something I noticed is I'm going to find it very hard to actually flip Urza unless I can get the Mightstone and Weakstone easily. So let's search my collection for cards that can tutor. So just type search artifact library. That should yield the results we need. So yeah, I'm hoping you enjoyed this format. Obviously you can skip this bit to the gameplay if you really want to, but there you go. So we could make it more combo and put in Oswald, but then I think that defeats the purpose of, yeah, I think Oswald needs a lot more artifacts, so I'd just rather get straight up tutor. I'm pretty sure there's a tutor in Plane of Bridge would be good actually. Actually, that's cool. I think what I'm going to do is take out the Gear Hulk and put in a Plane of Bridge. Oh, and an Inventor's Fair. How is that not in here? Take out a... I think we take out an island for that. So the land count currently is 39. Yeah. So, I mean, if you've been interested in how I do videos, is I don't normally do this. I normally commit to a deck list at the beginning and then play it from A to Z, but it's after quite a lot of testing. But here you're seeing the thought process before I would record, so it's just like a sneak peek of what would happen. So, search, enchant. No, there is one to search for a artifact, isn't there? Oh, it's Idyllic Tutor. Do I not own it? Why don't I swear I had it. I do have it. Search library for enchantment. Oh, enchantment card. Okay. Gosh, darn it. So I guess Planar Bridge is even better. But also the Inventor's Fair, which lets us tutor for an artifact. Oh yeah, so yeah. Idyllic Tutor does not. Search deck artifact. So currently, there isn't a card that lets you search. Sorry, goodness me. Search library for an artifact apart from the Fiddle Bender, but I think this is going to make the deck into higher tiers, so I don't want to do that. And I guess it's more fun when you randomly pick it. Okay, fine. I guess Planar Bridge will do for now. 5 mana. So this searches for 3 exactly. This searches for equipment or vehicle. And I can't really think of what else to it's for artifacts, but I mean I could be going blind. You play shouting at me, but yeah, I'm happy with this. So we made a couple of changes there. Let's get into the next game. Okay, opponent goes first. This is game 2 for the record. I feel like I'm a police interrogator for the record. Yeah, let's keep this. It seems fun. I absolutely love this card. This card, oh my goodness. I need to buy this in paper immediately. Steel Seraph, just look at the artwork. It's like mech porn. Fantastic. Some people like cars, some people like motorbikes. I love robots. Sadly, they don't exist. If they did, if mechs existed, I would try so hard to buy one. Also, I've just realised that this card shouldn't actually be in the deck, but do you know what? I'm fine. Yeah, because this used to be a vehicle builder. I just forgot to take that out. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Me making mistakes again. You can always scream and shout. I do apologise. It shouldn't affect the game too much. It's a 2-mana 2/2 at the very least. There's probably 1 or 2 equipments or something in the deck, but yeah, it's all good. I'll take that out after this game, after seeing the error of my ways. Giant Ballard comes out. Discarding. So 6, discard. Wow, she can ramp really hard, can't she? We could just return her to her hand. But I think I want to get the Seraph out because it's just really awesome. We also have hexproof, so that might help as well. Let's give the Circuit Mender. I think Lifelink's going to be relevant here, so let's knock Jaya Ballard down.
Come on, then.
But yeah, I do apologise once again for the SRAM. It doesn't belong in the deck, but there you go. I include my mistakes. I'm only human. They're going to try and kill the Steel Seraph, I think. I would if I saw that, because it's just annoying, isn't it? Add 3, so they've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That doesn't look good, does it? That's a lot of mana, so we're going to get absolutely wrecked here. If they have a big X spell, what was the scariest mono red X spell in the format? I don't know, but they can only use it on instants and sorcery, so are they just digging for something? Land? Brotherhood's End. Destroy all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. Oh man, that's like the perfect answer. Oh, that would have been so useful. I think we're about to get absolutely wrecked by a mono red Walker's build. So she's at 6. Okay. What can we do? Go for Emery. And we can protect her with a Dive Down and a Lorraine Escape as well. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win this one, guys, but oh well. Let's continue to be annihilated. But yeah, I suppose I've learned from my mistakes. I've just, sometimes when you build, what I do is I use existing templates. So it just speeds up the process a bit. I know some people like to make from scratch. That's perfectly fine. I like to build from my existing templates that I own because I know what I like. And it also includes stuff like Otawara, the rare lands. Add 3.
Let's see how you manage.
That's such a shame that's a 3 damage as well, because if they'd done that, then we would have been able to protect. Oof, okay. So they've got Skewer the Critics. So let's respond with a Hexproof. And if they have another spell on top of that, we can also give it Hexproof again. La-di-da-di-doo. Always a joy. Land is fine. So, okay, so that's at 7. I'm really scared of this Jai. They didn't... Okay. So let's cast the Steel Seraph for 6 mana. That's actually really cool synergy with Emery as well. I don't know, give it lifelink, doesn't really matter. So 4 damage, it shouldn't be too hard for them to kill. So in their turn, they're going to want to...
Find your fires of passion within.
You may cast instants and sorceries from your graveyard. If a spell's cast this way, exile it. Wow, so it gives all their spells flashback at all times.
I'm ready for a rematch.
So yes, they can go ahead and destroy all artifacts. They can kill the Steel Seraph. The thing is, if they kill the Steel Seraph, I think they can only kill one thing this turn. So they could destroy the Seraph and deal 1 damage to Emery, or they can deal 4 to the Emery and 2 to me, or they can destroy Yeah, it looks like... Oh, okay, so they've gone for a spell from their hand. And then they're going to kill Emery with the Brotherhood's End. Oh no, they're going to do that as well. Okay, fair. Well, I'm pretty sure they've well and truly got me here. 1, 2, 3, Solemn Simulacrum. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's unlikely that we're going to be able to come back from this. Oh, I just accidentally hit decline. Yeah, I don't think we can win this. If all their spells have flashback, everything we do, yeah, they can destroy artifacts. Okay, cool. Yeah, I completely admit I've annihilated myself in this game, so we'll call it quits and we'll go to the edit screen to see what we can do to rectify my silly billy issues that I just did. Right, after that absolute crap show of a game, let's see if I can rectify the issues. So Stram was a mistake, shouldn't be in the deck. Probably don't think Birth of Meletis wants to be in there either. And let's think about this. We lost to Chandras. How many ways? Instants and sorceries and artifacts. How many ways are there to interact with Planeswalkers? So destroying Planeswalkers, we actually have a few... Oh, Ugin, that's definitely a card I want to put in. So the curve is going up a hell of a lot here. Brilliant Restoration is looking worse and worse as we go along, but then again, it does allow you to get everything back. I think what I'd like to do is have a card that lets me either surveil more. Surveil one, draw a card, that seems decent. Putting it in the graveyard lets me get stuff back with the Brilliant Restoration. So we've already got the Search for a Scanter. Let's go for Consider. I think that's fine. It smooths out the curve as well. Cool, let's go into the next game then. Okay, game 3. Looks like we have a battle for the ages here. And I don't mind the hand, but it's a bit slow. We would like a bit more mana here, I think. Okay, this is actually a lot better. This is kind of exciting. We even had the Mightstone, Weakstone. Are we going to get the flavor win here? Maybe not. Red, black. Scary card. Scary card. So once we get to 3 mana, if Urza survives, we might be able to cast some of the other things. Okay, Signet. So they can go for Mishra in the following turn. So let's go for Urza. I could have just killed the Signet there, but I'm taking a gamble. Absolute gamble. If we get a mana... Oh no, okay, they're slowing us down. Sure, yeah, that is annoying. They missed a land drop. So let's go for Tezzeret. Let's start drawing discarding because we've got Refurbish. Oh, this is actually really nice. So let's discard Platoon Dispenser for now. Yeah, I think that's the least exciting thing. And also, if they have a Bajuka Bog, it's going to be terrible if they get rid of that. The Mightstone. So I could have discarded that. Would have been good to refurbish that back. Tezzeret is really awesome in this deck because it's got a pseudo kind of... Oh no, they've got Phyrexian Dragon Engine. However... Yeah, we're going to revoke this. So I don't think they can ever transform it now because it can't even unearth. So we've just destroyed their entire deck plan. And there we go. Absolute flavor win. We defeated the crap out of Mishra. Okay, just so straight into game 4. Didn't think I needed to do any edits because we didn't really see much of the deck. But yeah, that's an example of how quick a game can go without any kind of introspection there. Just because there's nothing to really analyse. It was just a lucky game. Didn't really see many cards, but it was very cool nonetheless. And the flavor win, I'm obviously happy to have that on tape. Yeah, let's go with the Guardian Idol. Comes untapped. So even without Urza on the field, I think this deck is absolutely solid. He just kind of... He's like a nice finisher, I suppose, because early on he can be good, but obviously he's very vulnerable to removal, just like many other creatures. This is the way the game is, which is good, because you don't want every creature to have hexproof or ward. Tiamat's going to look to get loads of dragons. Thoughtseize is going to be irritating. They'll probably get rid of the tome with the Ugin because the intervention. So what does that tell me? Kind of tells me that they have a lot of artifacts and enchantments they want to get out. Myrel is fantastic card as well. She will protect us when we have Urza out and want to flip him, and she can create soldiers on the attack. I think it's just a really beautiful addition to white decks. D-Spark, okay, so she sadly gives her life. The D-Spark being used does mean that Ugin might be a bit okay later on. So let's go for Urza and the Tome here. And if they play a creature, we could kill it with the Fateful Absence for 1 white, which seems pretty epic. It's funny that even at 1 white, it's still not as strong as Path to Exile or the Plowshares. Crazy, isn't it? They really blew their load early, Wizards of the Coast, making the Path and the Swords. It's kind of bonkers. It's like Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt, to this day, is still one of the most efficient removal spells in the history of Magic. If you think about percentage input-output, you're putting 1 red into the spell, and logic would probably dictate it does about 1 damage, but it does 3 damage, which is bloody crazy. 300% damage output to the regular ratio. I mean, if you think about Shock, which does 2 damage for 1, even that's good. Even Shock is good. And in formats of Standard, where Lightning Bolt wasn't legal, people would use Shock if Shock was available. So let's draw a card. A land drop would be good, so we can go for Ugin. Okay, that's cool. And then for now, we can even animate this guy. Swing for 4. I am a bit curious why they got rid of the Helium Intervention. Is it because of this monster manual? Lets them put a creature card from the hand on the battlefield. But the thing about that is, we've got Ugin anyway, so, and we can also kill the Provisioner, so I don't think they're going to be playing much longer, just annihilating all their value. Elspeth Conquers Death. So yeah, here comes the Ugin, but they do know we have Ugin. Funny note, our artifacts now cost 3 less, which is just ludicrous. If they happen to kill Ugin or Urza, we have the ECD to return it to play, which is cool. I know what they're trying to do. They're waiting until turn 6 to go for the Monsters Manual, because then they can play it and hold priority in order to activate it on the same turn, thus putting in a gigantic dragon creature. But they've only got 3 mana, so they're going to struggle to do that, especially when we have Ugin and many other pieces of tech that we can use on our side. Don't forget, if you like the video, leave me a like and a subscription, because it helps the channel in more ways than you think. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. It's great to have you here. If you like this deck, there are many more in my history or historic videos, so go and check them out after you've done with this one. Okay, so the opponent is roping us at this point. It's quite evident because you'll know a roper. There's a few reasons to spot one. Patterns, I should say. The tempo, their momentum slows down. When someone starts the game, they're probably full of vigour, playing lands, playing spells pretty quick. When someone realises they've lost, they slow down on purpose because they're in a mood that they aren't winning that game. And sadly, that's a sign of a sore loser. But there you go. That's the game. And they just wasted some of our time there. But we'll see. They might just have gone to the toilet. Seems unlikely, considering they just passed and then now they're holding priority again on Ugin. I swear to God, Rope has just absolutely killed this game, and it's a real shame. Because it's one of the few pain points. Like, it's one thing to use a powerful deck like Tiamat, but then to also Rope and use the most powerful deck, it's like double dick mode, really. Just accept it and move on, it's fine. Spoiler alert, if you quit the game right now and start up a new game, you could potentially beat your next opponent. But don't just sulk here. Let's play a game. Let's play a game. I'm happy to play with all my opponents, as long as you play the game. I didn't come here to watch myself play. I don't do that. Let's just have a game. Doesn't matter. If I lose, I quit and move on if I'm feeling upset. But don't do this, please. You wouldn't do it in real life, and if you did do it in real life, you just wouldn't have any friends. is it time for a movie review? I haven't done one of these in ages, so I watched Wakanda Forever the other night, and I think it's fantastic. If you liked the first Black Panther, I think you'll really like this. Ryan Coogler does a really good job of understanding the flaws of the first film. Like, the CGI wasn't so good, so they kind of limit that in Wakanda Forever. It's just a really good story. Human, gritty, dealing with loss, dealing with sorrow, dealing with characters who aren't necessarily going to be there for you anymore, figures. And yeah, I think it's a wonderful film. It's quite long, that's the only thing I would say. So make sure you have some snacks and you have toilet time at the beginning. Toilet time in the middle of the film, I don't really like, because you miss the film. And I've seen many people go to the toilet during an action scene, and I'm like, why are you going now? That's kind of crazy, right? Toilet time during an action sequence, that's not right. You're going to miss the action. The funniest thing I saw was I was sat in a cinema, and there's all sorts of trailers and adverts before the film comes on, and just as the film credits come on, like the title card, someone went to the toilet, and I thought, God, you certainly chose the time in there. You're going to miss the beginning of the film. You're going to miss the opening shot of the film. But yes, Wakanda Forever, I think you'll enjoy it. It doesn't really feel like a Marvel film, but I think that's good, because it's obviously the franchise is getting on now. It's, you know, it's been around for a long time, so they need to differentiate themselves by, it's difficult. It is a difficult job, but I think they've done a really good job. Namor, who's in the film as the antagonist, is wonderful. The actor that played him is awesome. I really love him. I think he's a Mexican actor. I'm sorry I don't know his name, but he's really cool. Quite funny as well in some ways. That is like the Marvel seal of approval, though, isn't it? A bit of comedy here and there. But yeah, as the opponent continue to rope me, I'll continue to review Wakanda Forever. So let's keep making things with Ugin. And I don't know why they're prolonging their death, to be honest. Let's just make sure they die by having lots of attackers. So check out Wakanda Forever in your theatres near you. And Marvel, you can pay me if you want to advertise your films. I'll happily do that. But I think this rounds up Urza's video for today. So bear in mind, I won't do this for every video, because it doesn't normally do very well. Introspective deck techs and long deck techs, people just want to see the gameplay. I completely understand, but just for this one video, I thought it would be interesting to just mix up a bit, just bring my sanity back, just change the flow of things. What I think of the deck, I actually really loved it, absolutely loved it. You can see why it's like $20 in paper. Absolutely fantastic. Again, very difficult to flip. Don't be caught in this storm of thinking, oh my god, Urza Planeswalker is so powerful. Yes, it's great, but it's the cherry on top. You just appreciate the fact he's a mana reducer. That alone is mental. You can put your favourite spells in the deck, and you know, if you're playing CDH, for instance, you could have a curve of max out of 3 and it would still be wonderful. As you can see by the end, I didn't really edit the deck, because I normally only do it if you lose, because that's where I get the most amount of data. I actually like losing. I know it sounds weird. I've said this to all my friends. Losing is how you grow as a player. If you're losing the game, don't keep doing the same thing. There's people out there I know that do that. You need to look inward and see what's wrong with the deck. Look at how you lost. Look at what cards were wrong in the deck and take them out, even one at a time. Slowly but surely you'll learn and evolve as a player, and you'll get better at analysing cards and thinking where things go. Just because something looks good, like Portal to Phyrexia, doesn't necessarily mean it fits in this deck. I wanted to put it in just because it was a cool new card, but it might not fit in the deck because it might need more graveyard stuff. So you could put more stuff in the deck that maybe throw stuff in the bin, more stuff like Consider, draw 2, discard 2, so on and so forth. Teferi's great, he does that. Draw 2, discard 2, reanimate stuff. You get the picture. I think the deck's at a really good position. I always loved seeing a curve like this with declining tail and a peak at about 2 to 2.5 mana. That's really wonderful. As I was saying, one of the deck the edits was I need a card that tutors for an artifact. Once they introduce that card to Historic Brawl, this card gets really crazy, and it could be a conscious decision from Wizards of the Coast, I'm not quite sure, but you've got Planar Bridge. This does a very similar thing, and it's very powerful. So if you liked the video, don't forget to leave me a like and a sub, and don't forget to check out my donations page. Ko-fi, donate through there. Amazon, donate through there. If you like the way I talk and talk about decks and describe things, please do those things. But until next time, see you later, and I hope you enjoyed this Brothers War video. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.